All right, welcome everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. Please sit comfortably and we'll get nice and centered. You can start by shrugging your shoulders up towards your ears if you'd like. Take the shoulder blades together behind you and then set the shoulders down. Feeling your chest rise slightly and the crown of the head lifting toward the ceiling. Letting your eyes close if they haven't already. And letting yourself arrive here in this moment. All the movement of the day, everything that got you to this point here today has stopped. You have arrived. Noticing your breath as you settle in. Noticing your mind as you settle in. Because even though we're bringing the body into a state of relative stillness, the mind likely keeps going. And so that invitation to arrive is also for the mind. That all the figuring out and organizing and troubleshooting you've done to get to this point, all of that is done. You have arrived. And really allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to just be here in this practice today while you're here. Nothing else has to matter. For the next little while, all you have is the present moment. And if the mind does wander into the past, future, or fantasy, remember that that's okay. And then just come back to the present moment. This practice here today, right now, each and every time. Good. Taking a deeper, fuller breath, please bring the palms together at your heart. And honor yourself as you are here in this moment, this body, breath, energy, and mind. And it's from that place within you that we'll practice tonight. Go ahead and rub the palms together, creating heat between them. And bringing those heated palms over your eyes for a moment. And then brushing over the top of the head, down the neck, bringing yourself nice and back. Good. And today we're going to start off on hands and knees. So if you're sitting on anything, go ahead and set it off to the side and we'll come to table pose. Good. Bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, knees beneath the hips, or slightly further back. With your inhale, look forward, feel the tailbone lift behind you. And as you exhale, round the back, tuck the chin and tail under and feel the mid-back reach toward the ceiling. Then inhale, drop the heart and look forward, tailbone lifts. Let's do that a few more times. Exhale, rounding the back. Inhale, looking forward, tail lifts. Exhale. Inhale. Feeling some movement in the spine here, some mobility in your hips, a little bit of movement in the shoulders as well. And making this just a little bit more dynamic, inhale, look forward. Exhale, sink back into child's pose. Inhale, float back up to hands and knees. Exhale again, child's pose. And continue moving between these two postures. Good, a couple more times. And then inhale up to hands and knees. With your exhale, bend your elbows in towards your waist, bring your chest down to the floor, and release the hips coming down onto your belly. Hands are under the shoulders. Keep the legs on the ground to start here, but squeeze the elbows in towards your sides. Inhale, roll the shoulders down the back, lift the heart, lift the head, cobra pose. Elbows stay bent. And then exhale, release down and turn your head to the side. Again, inhale, lift the head and chest. Exhale, release, turn the head to the opposite side. Inhale, lifting up, head and chest. Exhale, release down, turning the head. Warming up the spine here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. One more time. Cobra, inhale. And exhale, release down. Take an adjusting breath here. Good. And bring the head to center. Hands are still underneath your shoulders. Ground the pelvis. And with your inhale, lift the head, chest, and your legs coming into locust pose. Then exhale, carefully float down. Inhale, floating on up. Exhale down. Floating up. And down. A few more times, floating up locust. Head, chest, and legs lift. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale one more time. And exhale, release on down, curling the toes under. Push up to hands and knees. And then lift the hips into the air, downward facing dog. It's our first down dog of class, so you know what that means. We're going to walk it out a bit. Pressing a heel to the floor, bending the opposite knee. Lengthening one leg and then lengthening the other. Breathing here. Good. Then inhale, float down onto hands and knees again. Release the feet, child's pose. And feeling your hips really sinking toward their heels, go ahead and walk your hands off of the right side of your yoga mat. Reaching through the left arm and feeling the left hip bone sink down and creating that length on the left side of your body. And we'll just stay for a few breaths. And then carefully walk your hands back to center and just keep going all the way to the left. Reaching through that right arm, feeling the right hip sink down. The length along the right side of the body. Again, staying for just a few breaths. Good, and then walking the hands back to center. Inhale up to hands and knees. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good. So in downward facing dog, go ahead and lift the right leg high into the air behind you. With your exhale, swing or carry step the right foot between the hands, help it through, and then take the back knee to the floor. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms up, crescent lunge. And as you come down, interlace the fingers and bring them on top of the front thigh. And we'll do a little bit of work here. First, feel the chest lift, shoulders down the back. And then sinking into the hips, then pull away, coming out of the lunge just a little bit, and then sink further in. Pulling back and further in. Pulling back, sinking in. Just gonna do a few more of these, just stretching that hip flexor a little bit here. Might feel like a lot of it. Good. As you sink forward, this time go ahead and bring the hands to the floor and carefully step back to downward facing dog. We'll inhale, come down onto hands and knees. Exhale, do a chest press. Release the hips. Ground your pelvis. Inhale, lift the head, chest, and legs. Locust pose. Exhale, floating on down. Curl the toes under. Push up and back into downward facing dog. All right, let's do the other side. Left leg lifts. Exhale, step it on through, help it forward. Back knee to the floor, sinking into the hip. Inhale, lift the arms up, crescent lunge. Exhale as you come down, interlace your fingers onto the front thigh. Good. Pulling out of the lunge a little bit, and then sinking further in. Pulling out a bit, and sinking in. Backing out, sinking in. And just keep going and try to breathe calmly here. Just a few more times, stretching that hip flexor. Good. As you sink forward this time, go ahead and bring the hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Floating down onto hands and knees, inhale. Exhale, do a chest press, releasing the hips. Hands under the shoulders, ground the pelvis, locust lift, inhale, head, chest, and legs. And exhale, float back down, curl the toes under, pushing up, and back to downward facing dog. So we're gonna do a little bit more work with the hips in that lunge. So go ahead and lift the right leg up and step it on through. Back knee to the floor. Crescent lunge, lift the arms up, interlace onto the front thigh. Now for this exercise, you can stay here. Some of you might need to bring your hands or fingertips to the floor. All right, so you can make that decision here shortly. All right, I'm gonna ask you to curl the back toes under and then lift the back knee, straightening it. Keep sinking into the front leg and then carefully put the knee back down. That's the hard part. Inhale, lift the knee up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Twice more. Lift and lower and lift, and stay here for 3 breaths. And then with an exhale, carefully bring the knee down, hands to the floor, stepping back, downward facing dog. Good. Left leg lifts here. Exhale, step it on forward, help it on through. Back knee to the ground, crescent lunge. And again, the hands can interlace on the front thigh, or if you need to, fingertips on the ground, or if you have yoga blocks, those would work here too. Curling the back toes under. All right, side number 2. Let's see how this goes. Go ahead and lift the back knee, straightening the back leg. Exhale, carefully bring the knee back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Twice more. Lift and lower. Last one. Stay here for 3. Good. Carefully bring the knee down, hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Good job. Floating down onto hands and knees. Exhale, do a chest press again, releasing the hips back. Grounding the pelvis, lift the head, chest, and legs. Exhale, release. Curl the toes under, pushing up and back to downward facing dog. Good. Floating back down onto hands and knees. I'm going to ask you to bring your forearms down to the floor. And the way that you kind of check your alignment here is that the elbows will be underneath your shoulders. So where your hands are at right now, you're just going to bring your elbow down to that point with both arms. And the arms are about shoulder width apart. Hands flat on the floor here. And then you're going to curl the back toes under and lift the knees and lift the hips toward the ceiling behind you, kind of like down dog. You can walk your toes forward a bit if you need to, coming into dolphin pose. And you're really feeling your chest pull away from the floor here. Breathe. Good. Then bring the knees back to the floor. Release the feet and then just extend into child's pose. Seat to the heels, forehead toward the ground. Good. So from here, we're going to practice rabbit pose. I don't usually practice rabbit pose this early in the sequence, but that's not for a particular reason. It just usually comes later. But we're nice and warmed up for it. So in child's pose here, relax the forearms and bring the top of the forehead or hairline to the floor. And then lifting the hips, go ahead and roll forward to the top of your head, stopping there, and then release the hips down as you come back to the hairline. So the head stays on the floor the entire time, rocking forward to the top of the head on inhale, exhale, releasing back, and just keep going, forward and back. And you're not going to effort really in your arms and shoulders here. It's more about the hips moving, allowing the weight of the body as you rock forward to go into the head. This is helping to release tension at the back of the neck, the tops of the shoulders. Rocking forward, rocking back. I'm gonna go for another probably 20 seconds or so. This exercise can sometimes have a really grounding effect, feeling calmer, steadier. Good. And then rock to the very top of your head and stay. And breathe. All right. Go ahead and carefully come back to child's pose. And then walk your hands back, coming up to a seat. As you do so, just feel for a moment, just sensation. Again, rabbit pose can sometimes have a calming effect. It's also a preparatory step for headstand. which we're not going to do tonight, but it has a lot of the same benefits of headstand. That slight compression on the top of the head, the overall calming effect eventually, and the slight inversion to the body. Good. All right. When you are ready, bring your awareness back, coming up to a kneeling position, and then step up to standing. That's our transition to standing today. All right, so I'm going to ask you to take a wide stance on your yoga mat now. And the toes are pointing directly forward, not out to the sides, but directly forward, please. Cool? And why not? We'll start with a forward fold. So sweep the arms up, inhale. With your exhale, just hinge at the hips and fold down over wide legs and hang out here for just a moment. We're going to do more with this pose in just a second, but just feeling this version first. The stretch in the backs of the legs, stretch in the back of the upper body. Good, then sweep the arms out to the sides, the strong back lift all the way up. And your arms come down. Good, so the version that we'll come into next is with the hands bound behind you. So you're going to interlace your fingers, but behind your back. And then squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the arms off the back as much as you can. Okay, and then the knees are just slightly bent here. You'll hinge at the hips again and just fold forward, taking the arms off the back as much as you can once you get here. And that might not be as far as mine, and that's fine. Just have this intention of the hands or arms lifting off the back. The shoulder blades are working toward one another and slipping up toward your neck. And we're breathing. Good. Staying in the forward fold, then release the arms, hands toward the floor. Good. Then lift yourself up halfway, hands or fingertips on the ground, and you're going to turn your right foot, the toes to the right side of your yoga mat. And then bring your arms and hands to either side of that foot. The back foot, left foot stays where it's at. Your right hand is going to slide up onto your ankle or shin. And then go ahead and inhale with your left arm, reach forward, kind of out over the right toes, and then backstroke, take the arm into the air, coming into triangle pose, rolling the left shoulder back. And looking up at the hand in the air if you can. If that's too much on your neck, just look forward. Just make sure the head doesn't drop here. Keep it in line with the spine. And staying for just a little longer. Good, and then go ahead and swim that left arm forward to the ground. And then do a quarter turn to the left. Bring the right foot to point in the same direction the left foot is pointing. And then we're going to prep to do the other side. Your left toes are going to point out to the left side of your yoga mat. You can turn your body now over the left leg, keeping the right foot where it's at. Then sliding the left hand up onto the left ankle or shin. With your inhale, reach the right arm forward and up. Rolling that right shoulder back. Looking at the hand in the air or straight forward, keeping the neck in line with the spine, not letting the head drop down. And breathing here. And I didn't really mention it on the first side, but that front knee, the left knee in this case, is not locked. There's just a little bit of a softness to the knee. The leg is straight, but it's not kind of locking into that straightness, I guess. Good, all right. Go ahead and swim forward with that right arm. Do a quarter turn to the right. toes pointing directly forward, and hang over wide legs for a moment. Beautiful. With your next inhale, sweep the arms out to the sides. Come all the way up to standing and release the arms on down. Good. So we are going to turn the toes out to the sides now. So you can either cut your heels in or turn your toes out, either way. Just make sure it's a nice, stable, wide stance. And your hands are going to be on the hips to start here. Taking a deep breath in. With your exhale, bend your knees out toward the toes, sink down. Then inhale, come back up. And try to keep the spine lifting as you sink down. So not folding forward, but keeping the spine lifting. Good, come back up. A couple more times, sink down. And up. And down. And up. And down. And come back up. I'm going to demonstrate what we're going to do next because it's more of a subtle movement and also might feel a little weird, and we're going to work with it, all right? Because it's yoga. Sometimes things get weird. So just turning sideways just so you can see what's going on in my hips here. I'm going to come down into the pose, and we're going to do these small pelvic movements. So you're going to you can think about the hip bones fanning open, and then you're going to knit the sits bones together, bring the pelvis forward. So swinging back and forward. So it's kind of pelvic thrusting, there's innuendos here, but what this is really helping do is to strengthen the pelvic floor and to bring some mobility to that space in the body. So it is important, okay? So when you're ready, you're gonna bend the knees out, sink down in again. Good, and then we'll start to do that movement here. So feel the hip bones widen behind you, fanning out, and then feel them tuck under, the pelvis tucking under and pressing forward. Back and forward, back and forward. Breathe as you do this. Really pulling up the pelvic floor as you draw the hips forward. 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the legs. Feel sensation for a moment. That might have created a little bit of heat in the body. That's normal. And then turn the toes forward again and fold forward again. All right, inhale, come all the way back up. And then pick which side is the top of your mat and go ahead and step there right now. And we're going to move through a sun salutation, working with the lunges that we did earlier and locust pose. Once I get hydrated. So feet stacking underneath the hips. We'll throw a chair pose in this one because why not? And with your next inhale, sweep your arms down, back and up. With your exhale, bend the knees, sweep your arms behind you, chair prep. Inhale, come up into chair pose. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, straighten the legs, reaching up. And then hinge at the hips, swan dive, fold forward and down. Palms to shins, halfway up, inhalation. Exhale, release. Please step your right foot way back. Knee to the ground, crescent lunge. And then exhale, bring the hands to the floor. Let's straighten the front leg, pull the toes towards you, hamstring stretch. Then inhale, rock forward, curl the back toes under and step back into downward facing dog. Floating down onto hands and knees. Exhale, chest press and release the hips. Grounding the pelvis, lift the head, chest, and legs, locust pose. Exhale, release down, curl the toes under, push up, and back into down dog. Right leg lifts. Exhale, step the right foot forward, help it through. Back knee to the ground, crescent lunge. Exhale, bring the hands down to the floor. Straighten the front leg, pull the toes toward you. Hamstring stretch. Good, then rock forward and step forward. Palms to shins, halfway up, inhale. Exhale, float down. Sweeping the arms out to the sides, inhale, come all the way up to standing. And palms to the heart. Good, let's do that again. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Bend the knees, chair prep. Chair pose. Staying for that exhale. Inhale, lifting up. And fold forward. Palms to shins, halfway. Exhale, release, step the left foot way back. Back knee to the floor. Crescent lunge, inhale, lift. Exhale, hands to the ground, straighten the front leg, pull the toes toward you. Then inhale, rock forward, curl the toes under. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Good, inhale onto hands and knees. Exhale, chest press, hips release. Rise up, locust. And down. Curl the toes under. Push up and back, downward facing dog. Once you get there, left leg lifts and step it through. Back knee to the ground, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands down, straighten the leg, pull the toes toward you. Then inhale, rock forward, exhale, step forward. And palms to shins, halfway up. Exhale, release. Sweep the arms out to the sides, inhale, come all the way up. Palms to the heart. Again, inhale, sweep up. Bend the knees, chair prep. Chair pose. Lift. Fold. Halfway. Exhale down, right foot steps. Knee to the ground, crescent lunge. Hands to the floor, hamstring stretch, pull the toes toward you. Inhale, rock forward, exhale, step back, downward facing. Hands and knees to chest press, inhale, exhale. Grounding the hips, locust rise. Exhale, release, downward facing dog, pushing up and back. Right leg lifts here. Exhale, step it through. Knee to the ground, crescent lunge. Hamstring stretch, hands to the floor, straighten the leg. And then a rock forward, step forward. Palms to shins. Exhale, release. Sweep the arms out to the sides, come all the way up, inhale. Palms to the heart. Again, inhale, sweep. Chair prep. Chair pose. Lift. And fold. Halfway up. Exhale down, step the left foot back, please. Knee to the ground, crescent lunge. Hamstring stretch, straighten the leg, pull the toes back. Then inhale, rock forward. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Hands and knees to chest press. Inhale, exhale. Ground the hips. Locust rise. And down, pushing up. And back, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, step it through. Knee to the ground, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands down, straighten the leg, pull the toes back. Inhale, rock forward, step forward. Palms to shins. Exhale down. Sweep the arms out to the sides, come all the way up. Palms to the heart. One more time, we can do it. Sweep the arms up, inhale. Chair prep. Chair pose. Staying for 3 breaths here. Good, inhale, straighten the legs, reach. Exhale, swan dive forward. Palms to shins, halfway up. Exhale, release, step the right foot way back. knee to the ground, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor, straighten the leg, pull the toes back. Let's stay here for about 3 breaths. Think about drawing that left hip bone back behind you. Toes keep pulling towards you, and the back of the left leg screaming a little bit, which is fine. It's just angsty, that's all. Breathe with that stretch, that discomfort. Beautiful. Go ahead and rock forward, and let's step back to downward facing dog. Hands and knees, inhale. Chest press, exhale. Ground the pelvis. Inhale, lift the head, chest, and legs. And let's stay up for about 3 to 4 breaths. Lift to your highest point. And release down. Good. Curling the toes under, push and press back to downward facing dog. Hanging out here for just a moment. And then go ahead and lift the right leg into the air and step the foot on forward. Back knee to the ground, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor, straighten the right leg, pull the toes back. We'll hang out here for a moment as well. Feeling the right hip draw backwards, keep the right foot flexed, and the back of that leg, having its movement here. The hamstrings, the backs of the legs, they get so tight. Breathing. Good, good. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and rock forward, step forward. Palms to shins here, come halfway up. And exhale, release down. In the forward fold, interlace your fingers at your lower back. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, lift the arms off the back and overhead. Knees are bending just a little bit here. Good. Go ahead and release the hands to the floor. Palms to shins halfway up. Exhale, release. And carefully step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, float gently back down onto hands and knees. Release the feet. And exhale, child's pose. Just feeling sensation here. What's going on in this body? Again, the dual purpose of that instruction, be aware of the body. Noticing what's happening, of course, but also bringing your awareness or the movement of your mind out of your head and into your body. Stopping cycles of stress or rumination. And really allowing yourself to be present. Good. When you're ready, please roll yourself up. And we're going to come on to our backs for a few more exercises. So take your time with that transition, but do eventually come on down. And you may want to hug your knees into your chest when you first get here. And that might include rocking gently on the spine from side to side. We've been working the back body pretty hard tonight, so it's okay if you want to give it a massage for a moment. Good. And then you're going to bring your legs into bridge prep. So feet flat to the floor, heels underneath the knees, about hip width apart. Good. The arms are going to stay on the floor here. And this first bit is going to be a bit different than what we usually do because we're going to do a little bit more work to capitalize on that pelvic floor work that we did earlier. Okay. So if you can think about the movement we did earlier where we let the seat fan out and then tuck under, that kind of waxing and waning in the hips. We're going to do that with our hips off the ground about 2 to 3 inches. So pressing the feet into the floor, just lift the hips off the ground a little bit, and then release the hips back, and then scoop the pelvis forward. Then release the hips back, and then scoop the pelvis forward. So we're not pressing all the way up. We're just allowing there to be enough height in the hips so that the hips can displace and move. And as you tuck the hips under and press the pelvis up or forward, you want to feel the pelvic floor lift up from all those muscles at the root of your body are lifting up toward the navel. And then you're releasing all of them on the exhale. So a few more times with this. Again, you might feel heat building in your body as you do this. A couple more times. And then with your next inhale, press all the way up into what we normally do in bridge pose. And let's stay here for just a few rounds of breath. Really squeezing the glutes here. Good. Take a deep breath in, press up to your highest point, and then carefully release the hips on down. Good. Feeling sensation for a moment. And then from here, go ahead and draw your right knee into your chest. Right knee draws in. And extend your left leg all the way down to the floor. Good. Taking the right knee into the left hand, your right arm can hang out to the side. Deep breath in, please. Exhale, take the right knee across the body toward the floor on your side. Then inhale, unwind, bring the knee back. Just going in and out a couple times. Exhale, take the knee across. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, twist. Inhale back, and then we're going to hold this time. So go ahead and take that right knee across the body toward the floor on the left side. Keep it there. Anchor your right shoulder and arm, at least the arm here, and turn your chin to the right. Good. All right. From here, carefully unwind. Keep the right knee drawn in, please. Because we're going to do one more exercise with this right knee before we switch. Try to keep your left hip grounded where it's at, and then just draw the right knee out to the side, keeping the knee bent. You're going to hold right behind, or right below the knee itself if you'd like to. Good. This idea that the right knee is just dropping as far to the floor on the right side as the left hip stays grounded, creating an opening in the front of the pelvis. You can even place your left hand on that left hip bone, just reminding it to stay on the floor. Good. All right. Go ahead and bring that knee back in and extend the leg down to the floor. And we'll switch sides. Bring that left knee on in, hug it in. And then take the left knee into the right hand. The left arm hangs out to the side. Deep breath in. Then exhale, take the left knee across the body toward the floor. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist. Inhale, unwind. Third time's a charm. Let's stay this time as we twist, taking it across. And as the right knee comes across, think about grounding your left shoulder and your left arm, at least the arm, and turning your chin to the left. Breathe. Good. When you're ready, please carefully unwind. Keep the left knee drawn in for now. And then holding on to the left knee with the left hand, you're going to try to keep your right hip grounding this time and draw the left knee out to the left. Good. And you can place that right hand on top of the right hip if you'd like to, just reminding it to stay on the floor. And feeling that opening in the front of the left side of your pelvis. Good, and then bring the knee back to center and extend it to the ground, the leg to the ground for a moment. Just feel sensation from those last couple of exercises. Might feel like some energy around the hips and pelvic region and core. And we'll do just a couple more postures to kind of reinforce some of that pelvic floor work we've done so far. So go ahead and start by bringing both knees into your chest. And you're going to take your knees wide of your arms. Your arms are going to reach into the center or the space between your knees and holding on to the pinky edge of each foot, respectively. Okay? Now from here, you're going to lift the feet to point toward the ceiling, the soles of the feet pointing toward the ceiling, and you're kind of pulling down on the feet, like your knees are coming into the space around your armpits. Okay? Your lower back will pop up off the floor here. That's fine. And breathe, relaxing any contraction of the pelvic floor muscles and hips, glutes, core, anything else down there that might be clenching, relax it. Good. When you feel complete here, bring the soles of the feet together in butterfly. And you might be able to hold on to the pinky edge of the feet, or maybe it's the ankles or shins. Just make a connection, taking the knees wide, drawing the feet in toward your abdomen. And again, relaxing and gripping in and around the hips and pelvis and core, which includes the muscles around your lower back. Good. When you feel complete in this posture, please extend your legs down to the floor and make yourself ready to rest here for a few minutes. Letting the heels be nice and wide apart, the toes falling out to the sides. Your arms by your sides, palms face up. And making sure that you're not clenching your teeth. And let your eyes close. And bring your awareness to your body, sensations in this body, the initial results of the work that you've done here tonight. And as the body becomes still, often the mind keeps going. And so allow this invitation to rest. Allow it to extend to your mind. There's nothing that you need to figure out right now. Nothing that you need to think about or worry about. Just let yourself be here and rest. The breath moving in your body, the sensation in your body. Nothing else has to exist for the next few minutes. Peace. 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 Feeling your breath moving in your body. When you're ready, go ahead and take a deeper, fuller breath. Invite in some gentle, intentional movement, the hands and feet, the arms and legs. Rolling to your right. And transitioning up to a seat. And so once you've made it to a seat, go ahead and bring your palms together and lower the chin. And honor yourself for the work you've done here tonight. Gratitude for all of the effort you put forth and the lasting effect of that effort. May all that work and this practice continue to serve you. So until next time, namaste.